Oh, Woody, you sent out the invitations to the people that are presenting, right? Is that how it
I,
works? Yeah.
I did, yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, good.
So I'll send out a reminder Thursday, I think. So just to with another invite. But I think I've gotten confirmation from almost everybody. I think we should be okay.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, Chief Smith was just asking how that would work, and I said I thought you were sending an invite.
Yeah, he actually sent one to me too, and sent a question to me, and they should have actually gotten an invite. So hopefully
Okay.
everybody's aware.
Okay.
Do they send out will we get a peek of their presentation before the meeting?
I think some of them are going to send us in advance. I just got the one from the Concom, for example, and I'll send that out. I think some people are going to be finishing Monday afternoon, is my impression. So we may not get everybody's presentation in advance.
Okay.
So we technically have a quorum here. So I'm going to go ahead and start. So let me read the little blurb. Following the guidance issued by the Commonwealth in March of 2023 regarding the open meeting law, this public meeting will be held remotely, and individuals wishing to participate may do so by utilizing Zoom video conferencing technology. So I wanted to just go over a couple of things um, before ending at 7:30. So uh, let me see if I can share. Okay, so I have added. Chris just sent me an update on the budget, and I have added it to the shared drive. It's this one here, Warrant Committee Info 2326. And it is I don't know how if this is large enough for people to see, but it's the newest version of the budget that goes through things. It's further along than what Michael presented to us, but still has a number of missing pieces. But I think as you go through it, you'll get a better sense of kind of how things are sorting out. One thing to note is that over on the side here are the generally the asks. And as you go through this and think about what some of the presentations are going to be toward us uh, for us on Monday, just keep these comments in mind. For the Concom, for example, they're asking for an additional 32,000 in consulting services. One of the questions for them uh, is is they have each of the last several years they have significantly exceeded their budget and have had to come for supplementary funds. They have been talking about uh, having Janet Bowser, who's the conservation agent, uh, shift from being a consultant to being a full-time employee. And uh, one question is whether or not that would actually be cheaper for the town. At least in this version of the budget, that's not been changed. It's still she's still listed as a consultant. But as you go through, you can take a look at all this. The additional salary for the ambulance for the EMTs is uh, not yet included. So there's several things here that as we go through Monday's presentations, we're just going to need to pay attention to. So anyway, this is on the shared drive. Um, then Uh, uh, this has not, you all haven't been given access to this yet, but I'll arrange for Chris to do it. But on the shared drives, is town meeting articles. And we now have access to the uh, what are now 27 articles on the warrant that have been approved by the Board of Selectmen. So that's several fewer than last year. There are, amazingly enough, no citizens petitions. So the some of the more contentious issues, I think, are in the past will no longer be presented. So hopefully that makes all of town meeting a little smoother. So Chris has set up um, these are the list of the articles. There, most of them are carried over from last year. So um, this was new last year to have Article 6 be uh, the capital request from the schools. Uh, but I think most of these will be familiar to you. We can start dividing these up among our membership. So I just wanted to spend a couple of minutes getting a sense from people as to if they had any preferences as how to go about assigning. Last year, I think I just went through it and kind of not randomly, but uh, somewhat arbitrarily assigned different articles to different people. We did try last year if uh, an article seemed to relate to something to a group that you were a liaison for. I gave you that article uh, uh, as your responsibility. So, for example, if you have the planning board, I think the planning board has there's another ADU uh, site plan review. Um, the Concom has acceptance of trail easements and several easement terminations. So I can certainly do my best to assign articles to people based on what their liaison responsibilities have been. A lot of these don't fit neatly that way. So it'll be some of them will be somewhat arbitrary. Um, if you have a particular, if as you look through the list, you have a particular interest in some area being your responsibility, I'm happy to go with it. So just email me. Um, just to remember. So there's one other thing that is a little different this year. Chris and Suzanne have developed. I mean, I'm not sure I got this right. They've developed a form uh, to track the different articles, uh, and on the form, there's a space for the warrant committee members' comments about the article. This would be um, useful comments if you think there's some issue, particularly, for example, that's going to could come up at town meeting and be a source of uh, uh, discussion. Um, and also kind of what your reaction is in terms of uh, the warrant committee supporting or rejecting the article. So when when I do assign the different articles too. That one of the ways in which we can track things is by having people fill out the warrant committee section in the forms, and that'll be a way for us to get us handle on kind of what articles we think are going to be uh, most discussed at town meeting. So, any other thoughts about how to assign articles? I'm happy to entertain other thoughts.
It worked well last year, I thought, to write the ones that you'd been working. I mean, you gave me the ones I'd been working on, and that was made it a little easier.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. All right. Why don't I do that? Misha's reminded me I never officially started the meeting, so I will do a roll call. So
Or
so
I don't know if it
Nina.
matters. I just wanted to flag it.
Well, better to do it and then late than not at all, I think. Nina,
Here,
Mish,
Here.
Gavin, maybe
virtually.
virtually. Marty,
Yeah.
Dick,
Here.
and I'm here. So five is quorum anyway, so we're okay.
Oh, Gavin's here. He just
Yeah, I see that. Okay, good.
we can do the minutes later if you want, another day if you want to.
All
Sorry, I
right.
don't mean to throw this like all this business in. I just
No, it's fine.
wow.
I do want to vote on the minutes at the end.
Yeah.
Okay. So, anyway, if you looking through the articles, if you have a sense of ones that you're particularly interested in taking responsibility for, just email me and I'll try and assign them by the end of next week. Remember, there are primary responsibilities to anticipate issues that may come up at town meeting and to uh, uh, kind of lead the discussion of the warrant committee as we vote on the article and then write up a synopsis of the article and our vote to go to go in the blue book. Gavin, you appear twice, but
I logged off on the other one. Am I still showing the other one?
yeah, you are, but don't worry about it. We're
Doesn't
fine.
matter.
So then I just wanted to talk a little bit about next week. So I'll distribute any material I get in advance. I don't expect everybody's going to be done before Monday with their presentations. There definitely is some discussion still going on with the different presenters as to how they want to apply things. I've had a couple of questions today about the templates and about the slides, so it's obvious people are taking that seriously. And I'm anticipating we'll get some type of KPI from just about everybody. So one question that I thought would be worth talking about before Monday is just what kind of feedback we want to give about the KPIs. Do we do it kind of in real time Monday, or do we kind of take what they give us and then give them feedback in a more leisurely fashion? I don't think anybody is actually going to be doing all that much in the next month or two around their KPIs. So we probably have some time, but may also be meaningful to people to give them feedback right at the time. Any thoughts?
Yeah, Woody, I have a thought. I agree that this has been a little bit of an uphill exercise,
Yeah.
introducing this whole concept of a KPI. And I guess it's important from my perspective to remember or recall the genesis of this, I think, was to try and provide the warrant committee in order to form an informed opinion on these requests to get a better sense of the particular unit or business unit
Yep.
leader's perspective in terms of how effective are they in fulfilling the mission as they describe it. They're the
Right.
ones that are most in tune with that. And I guess as I hear you talking about, we want to give them feedback on their KPIs. I wonder, this is a question really. There's a hierarchy in terms of all these departments, right? They roll up to, I assume, the town administrator is the equivalent of the CEO. And does
Yeah, I
does
think almost all of them. There's some subtle differences. Board of Health doesn't actually report even to the select board. It's
okay,
it's
but
independent. So the schools are a little different, but for the most part, most of the departments roll up to Michael.
yeah. And with that in mind, I would hope that before it sort of comes before a liaison or to the committee itself, there's some vetting and concurrence or consensus between that unit head and the town administrator, right?
I think ideally that would be true. I think the reality is, given how uh, fragile the town administration has been the last several years, Chris's illness and then his paternity leave, uh, there's um, there's probably been less review than might be ideal.
Mhm.
Um, so uh, I think in reality we will have achieved a lot if everybody ends up identifying 1 to 4 KPIs and list them. And some of those may not be what we consider to be KPIs.
Right.
So
Yeah.
so I don't think it's I think in an ideal world there would have been review of this sort of stuff by Michael and Chris beforehand.
Yeah.
I don't think in reality that was achievable this year. And I do think we can probably um, provide some feedback that's useful to people with the idea that this is a process that's probably going to take several years to really implement.
Yeah, but at a high level, you would expect, at least it's always been my understanding, whether it's the town or any other kind of organization, if you can't measure something, it's really
Yep.
hard to manage it, right? And all
Right.
we're asking is, how do you measure it? What do and I don't have any particular expertise in terms of, name a department, whatever it is, what they're doing or how they're doing it, but you've got to wonder how are they even managing it if this issue of just coming up with what are some of the guidelines that you use in terms of measuring your success or areas for improvement or things of that nature. There's all sorts of ways to come at it. So it's a little surprising that it's created this kerfuffle as much as it has, because I don't think we're not asking for a whole lot other than to feel comfortable when we do have an opinion or express an informed opinion on these requests, that it's been done through a framework of understanding how does it fit in with what they've been doing and what they hope to achieve in
Yeah,
supporting
I
them
think
going forward.
that's all true. Um, I think it's a reflection of how partly of the pandemic and partly of how disabled and disorganized uh, the town administration has been for several years.
Mhm.
I feel like we're kind of finally emerging with a much more coherent leadership kind of structure and with people who are starting to um, uh, push push us push the town government in a way that will make it much more accountable. But I think we're probably several years from that. I I spent a moderate amount of time on the Medfield town website and was just there. There's a recent budget letter from the, the Medfield Warrant Committee, and uh, uh, their kind of grasp of their finances and their and the way the town budget has been rolled out is just significantly advanced from where we are. That does not negate the fact that Medfield is probably going for an override this year. They have a significant budget gap. So they may manage very well, but they haven't managed well enough to avoid uh, a significant deficit this year. So Dover has some advantages. We're not in danger of an override. We have a lot of other things going well, but I do have the sense that it's going to take 2 or 3 years uh, for Chris and Michael and the selectmen to uh, help the town recover from what has been a difficult last several years.
Woody, to your specific question, I think either it's going to fall in one category of the KPIs look great, or the KPIs aren't KPIs, or there's discussion of whether it's appropriate. I think in context of the fact that my guess is there's probably going to be more of the second than the first, I probably wouldn't be trying to do pronouncements for this meeting. I think the as they present, I think it's worthwhile to have a discussion. But I think laying the groundwork for afterwards, once the Warrant Committee has been able to actually discuss it internally, we'll come back and say, yes, either we agree, we think these are great, let's start tracking it holistically, or we have some concerns over this metric of, is this actually really the metric that we should be looking at, or something else to the fact. But rather than trying to make a rush to judgment, I would at least set the groundwork, or at least propose that, hey, there will be follow-up on these things. And so that just gives time to allow pondering as well as discussion post the meeting, to make sure everybody's agreeing that these make sense. And then the liaisons can follow up afterwards saying, yes, thumbs up, good, or it's worth a further discussion on what the KPI is.
Yeah, I think that's my inclination as well. But
Well, Gavin, I agree with everything you said, other than should that dialogue be had with Michael and Chris and have them lead the discussion? Because there's got to be some kind of top down from the organization in terms of the acceptance and understanding and agreement that these are important indicators that we're going to monitor and use to try to evaluate the effectiveness of the management and achievement of whatever the objectives are in those groups. And doesn't that sort of go beyond what we should be doing as a warrant committee?
well, I may have misinterpreted what Gavin said, but and correct me if I'm wrong. But I think us giving feedback doesn't preclude Michael and Chris being the ones who actually interact with the department heads.
Yeah,
We could give feedback to them, and then they take to the department heads.
yeah, we could certainly incorporate them in the discussion, whether it's the liaisons, whether it's going and having Mike and Chris be the ones to interface. I actually agree with you that it is important for everybody to be on board, not just the department, not the warrant, just the warrant committee, but also the town administrator. And so I like bringing them into discussion and making sure that they also think it's worthwhile to whatever the metric is. Because unless we have buy-in from everybody, I think it's going to fall short, or not going to get tracked, or going to fall by the wayside.
Yeah, I mean, we remember you talking about, I mean, our basic role is to make recommendation, right? So
Yes.
we're not saying yay or nay to their performance, really. We're and critically analyzing it. But we are looking at it and making a recommendation. And I agree with you, Marty, what you were saying. That would be, to me, it seems like that should be done directly right to, the town administrator, Chris and Michael, but I don't know, I'm new to this, so.
No, I think I agree. But I do think it's quite possible for us to weigh in and to give our feedback to Chris and Michael about what we hear.
When we have the subsequent discussion about KPIs, would we invite Michael to that meeting so that he can sort of hear it and take back? Is that
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, because I think you want the KPIs to be durable, right, from year to year. And I would think he would have a better sense of that than we might.
Yep. Okay, the last thing I wanted to mention tonight is just we have the meeting with Sherburne Advisory and the Regional School Committee on next week. That reminder that that's in person at the middle school, and I just want everybody aware of the fact that I think that could be a kind of somewhat challenging meeting. I'm pretty sure Sherburne is going to be pushing for some kind of reduction in the school's budget.
the school sent a letter to parents today. I don't know if everybody, and to sort of that I think will be concerning to. I mean, I got a bunch of texts about it immediately, so anticipating that there would be cutbacks, that there would be some contraction. So
Okay.
Yeah. And also highlighted that Sherburne has a
yeah,
shortfall that they're trying to close, and Dover has a large capital request that it's trying to manage.
Right.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the town's reaction to that. But the attendance numbers that are dropping are actually really substantial. So it's interesting how they're presenting it as not just from a financial standpoint, but also we just have fewer people, or fewer students. And so this would make sense regardless of the financial situation for
Right.
cuts.
Is that decline based on folks sending their children somewhere else, or just the natural population configuration in the towns?
It sounds like it's more the latter. I mean, just to give you an idea, the population for the high schools dropped. What was the number from
120, was it 120 students?
120 students from 2019 to 2027.
Yeah.
This is on a 600 base, 550 base, something like that. So, I mean, huge percentage drops over the last 8-9 years.
Yeah, am I correct that most of that drop has been in the last year, though, hasn't it? The numbers were pretty steady for a long time.
My recollection of the letter, she attributes it to post-pandemic people homeschooling more and sending in private schools. So pandemics being sort of a catalyst for this. That's how it was presented in the letter.
And my understanding was that they didn't anticipate the drop was going to be this precipitous. That when they were talking last year about projections for this year, they weren't talking about this big a drop.
So they're making staff adjust.
Yep.
They're cutting some staff. They're eliminating some positions. They're trying to do it through retirements and things like that. But
Yep.
it certainly will be. I mean, parents are all talking about it, so I think you're right to anticipate some, interest, heightened interest,
Yep.
as we go through the next meeting.
Okay, that was the last thing I really wanted to talk about. So, meeting Monday starts at 6. That's a reminder, and I'm
That's
hoping
virtual, right? Sorry.
that's virtual. Yeah, it's only the Wednesday meeting that's in person.
Okay.
And last year that went for about an hour and a half. I would not be surprised if it goes the same length of time this year. I think that there will certainly be plenty to discuss.
And that's 6:30, right?
At 6:30 at the middle school library.
This coming Wednesday.
This coming Wednesday,
Week from
Wednesday the
today.
11th.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, if there's nothing else,
Can we do the minutes quickly so I can get them off my plate?
yes, absolutely.
Sorry, just the minutes make me crazy.
So everybody received the minutes. Any comments or concerns that weren't previously expressed? If not, I'll be happy to entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
I move for acceptance of the minutes.
Great. And a second?
Second,
Great. Nina,
yes.
Mish,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
and Gavin.
Yes.
And I'm a yes. Great. So I'm also happy to take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
And a second?
Second.
Great. Nina,
Yes.
Mish,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Marty,
Yes.
and Gavin.
Yes.
Great. Okay, next meeting is Monday night. I'll talk to you then.
Great.
And I'll
Thanks.
send out any information I receive in the meantime.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye.